a British intelligence officer with no battlefield experience, yet his strategy saved thousands of lives. He never held a rifle, he never stood in a trench, but he helped turn the tide of a world war with a single, exquisite lie. The year is 1943. Across a war-torn Europe, Nazi banners hang like shadows over a broken continent. But in a cramped, dimly lit room in London, there are no flags, no cheers, only men staring at maps. Men who look like masters of strategy, but feel like mourners, because what they are about to plan is not a battle. It is a gamble with human lives. And the only way to win is to lie. He was Lieutenant Commander Ewen Montagu, brilliant, sharp-eyed, unsettlingly calm. Not a soldier on the front lines, but a craftsman of illusions. Beside him, a small team of thinkers and dreamers, men trained not to fire bullets but to plant ideas. They were not warriors in the traditional sense, but they would change the course of a war. In a room that smelled of paper and pipe smoke, they whispered over coffee gone cold. On the table lay a uniform, a briefcase, a photograph of a smiling woman named Pam. None of these belonged to anyone alive, because what they were creating wasn't a soldier. It was a man who never lived, a secret wedding between truth and fiction, carried out in silence. Outside that quiet room, the world was burning. Hitler's armies waited on the shores of Sicily, ready to slaughter anyone who dared land there. Every spy, every informant, every set of German eyes expected the invasion. To attack head-on would be suicide. The Allies needed those eyes to look somewhere else. And so, these men felt a strange, haunting fear. Would their lie be good enough? Could they honor the unknown corpse? They dressed in a Royal Marine uniform. They tucked love letters into his pocket as if giving him a soul. A bank statement. Worn socks. A receipt for an engagement ring. Tiny, tender details. Hoping the enemy would see a human being, not a trick. They were building a life so real that even they began to believe in it. Away from the chaos of strategy, you can almost imagine Himaja William Martin smiling at Pam, writing late-night letters about their future. You could almost hear her laughter in those pages. It wasn't just it was empathy turned into a weapon. April 1943. A submarine hatch opens beneath cold Atlantic waves. The body drifts into dark water, chained to a briefcase filled with secrets that weren't true, but needed to be believed. Days later, a fisherman finds him, then Spanish officials, then German intelligence, and the lie begins its slow journey to Hitler's desk. The Germans believed every word. They shifted their armies to Greece and Sardinia. When Allied forces stormed Sicily on July 10th, they met half the resistance they expected. The path to Italy opened like a door no one thought would ever budge. Thousands of lives were spared because of a man who never existed. Their story ended in silence, their names hidden in archives for years. But their creation, Major William Martin, still whispers to us today. It reminds us that the greatest victories are not always won by the strongest, but by those bold enough to tell the most believable lie. And so, in the heart of World War II, amidst fire and blood, one quiet deception proved a timeless truth. All warfare is based on deception.